At some point in time, all of us will encounter the income tax wall right ahead of us, and this is when you would want to find ways to avoid paying taxes to the government, and then you start looking for suitable tax saving instruments, right? When you are in such a quest, there are usually two popular tax saving instruments you should know about. Now, these products come with the least tenure of all, and they do provide income tax deduction under Section 80C of the Income Tax Act. They are firstly equity linked saving schemes or ELSS and or fixed deposits or FD. But wait. Please do note that you can claim a deduction of up to rupees 1.5 lakh collectively under Section 80C. And in today's video, let us find out how each of these investment avenues works. Not just that, let us also find out who should choose them through a comparative study of the features of both the investment options. Hello everyone, I am Prarthana from ClearTax, the portal where more than 5 million tax returns have been filed. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell notification to stay updated about our latest content. So what are we waiting for? Let us first understand and find out what an ELSS is and how it works. Well, ELSS is the only type of mutual fund that comes under Section 80C investments. It is a diversified equity mutual fund. ELSS offers dual benefits, that is, tax deduction and wealth accumulation over time. It includes a lock-in period of 3 years, the shortest tenure among all other Section 80C investment avenues. Similarly, it has the potential to offer the highest returns among other 80C options as well. A major plus point of ELSS is that you can choose to invest small amounts every month through a systematic investment plan or an SIP if investing a lump sum does not work for you. The investment amount can be as low as rupees 500 per installment. When you invest rupees 1.5 lakh in ELSS per financial year, you can get a rebate on the amount invested as well as save up to rupees 46,800 a year in taxes. The ELSS investment will be allocated such that about 65% of the assets will go towards equity and equity-linked securities such as listed shares. The remaining assets will be invested in fixed income securities. Number 1. You cannot make a premature withdrawal. Number 2. Though there is no upper limit on how much you can invest in them, the minimum investment amount may vary with fund houses. Thirdly, there are possibilities that ELSS will give inflation-beating returns. Fourthly, it is good to have an investment horizon of 5 years or more to mitigate market risks. Fifth, ELSS funds do not provide guaranteed returns. Sixth, the returns from ELSS are partially taxable. A tax-saver fixed deposit is a type of FD scheme that comes with lock-in period of 5 years. The amount deposited in such an account gets income tax deduction under Section 80C of the Income Tax Act 1961. A maximum of rupees 1.5 lakh per financial year can be deposited in this account for income tax purposes. Most banks and of course the post offices as well provide this account for customers and is widely accessible. The minimum deposit for this account varies from bank to bank. However, you can open this account with a minimum deposit of rupees 1000. The interest rate applied may vary from 5.5% up to 7.75% based on the bank. Also, the interest earned from this account is taxable. You can only make a one-time deposit in one account. FDs offer higher interest rates in comparison to savings accounts. Then it is suitable for risk-averse investors. The tenure of tax saving FD account can be anywhere between 5 years and up to 10 years. Premature withdrawal and loan facilities are not available during the lock-in period of the tax saving FDs. Now, have you learned anything valuable from this video so far? If yes, type clear in the comment section below. Now that we have a fair idea of ELSS and tax saver FDs, it's time to compare them. So let's compare them.
For returns in case of ELSS, it is not fixed and subject to equity market risks. However, it has delivered 12% to 15% returns in the last 5 years. Whereas in case of tax saving FD, RBI and banks decide the interest rate, which starts from 5.5% to 7.75%. For the next particular, ELSS 3-year lock-in period is compulsory, after which you can redeem or reinvest. In case of tax saving FD, the minimum tenure is 5 years, but you can extend it up to 10 years. For the next particular, in case of ELSS, 10% LTCG tax on the gains over and above 1 lakhs, whereas as per your tax slab in case of tax saving FD. Coming to risks, due to the equity exposure, ELSS is risky but has delivered historically good returns, whereas for tax saving FD, it assures capital protection and is covered under Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. Moving on to online option, one can start an ELSS online as a lump sum or SIP, but all banks may not offer an online facility to open an FD account. Lastly, liquidity. You may exit or withdraw ELSS after 3 years, but you cannot withdraw tax saving FD before 5 years.
Wondering how much returns can you expect? Let me tell you that as well. Say you invest rupees 1.5 lakh in ELSS as a lump sum for the sake of fair comparison. You stay invested during the lock-in period for 3 years, then you will be saving rupees 46,800 in taxes. Further, you can expect a maturity amount of rupees 2,10,739 at the rate of 12%. You can get a profit of rupees 60,739. You can calculate the maturity amount for an amount you would like to invest using ClearTax's ELSS calculator. The link for the same is provided in the description. Well, on the other hand, if you invest the same amount in a tax saving FD, the amount will be locked for 5 years. Consider the interest rate to be at 6% PA. The maturity amount in this case will be rupees 1,95,000. That means rupees 45,000 will be added to the deposit amount as an interest component. Calculate the possible FD returns on the go using ClearTax's FD calculator. The link for the same as well is provided in the description box below. Though ELSS and FD provide income tax deductions on the money part, the returns from these products are still taxable. However, they are taxed differently. Please note that tax saver FD returns are less tax efficient when you compare them to ELSS returns. The returns from tax saver FDs are taxed as per the income tax slab you fall under. This can turn out to be a disadvantage if you fall under the highest tax rate slab. Whereas in the case of ELSS, long-term capital gains of up to rupees 1 lakh per financial year is tax exempt. Gains over this limit are taxed at 10% plus the cess and surcharge. Dividends offered by all mutual funds are added to your overall income and taxed at your income tax slab rate. So, which one should you choose? Are you wondering that? Consider factors such as your age, investment horizon, risk appetite, investment goals, and others to determine the right investment product for you. Now, prefer ELSS when you are looking for wealth accumulation along with tax savings, you are ready for some risks, or you are looking for a short-term investments products for tax saving. Now, prefer tax saving fixed deposits or FD when you can choose capital guarantee and fixed returns over wealth creation, you are okay to stay invested for a minimum of 5 years, or of course you are approaching retirement. Well, there is no correct or wrong option when it comes to stating the best tax saving product. The right choice for one person may not be right for another person. Now that you know how both ELSS and tax saver FDs work, it is time for you to analyze your goals, age, investment horizon, and of course your risk appetite to identify the right investment product for you. Well, we hope that our video helped you make the right decision for yourself. If yes, please like and share this video. Subscribe to our channel and do not forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated on our latest content. There are many more income tax related videos to come your way, so stay tuned. Thank you so much. Take care.